Puntar. I'm at my show, The Milky Way, Get Your Orgone On, at Blackston Gallery in New York City.
I'm Anne Sherwood Pundyk. I'm an artist based in Manhattan. I came across this installation by Diana Puntar.
The piece is an installation that combines several utopian ideas and inventions and designs from various sources, including my own thoughts.
It registered with a project I'm doing called Girls Against God, which is a magazine coming out twice a year. It's focused on a redefinition of feminism, creating an environment for activism.
I've built an 8-foot square room that's an orgone accumulator. The floor of the room is a light-up disco floor, and below that is a mushroom garden. So when you can go inside that room and get your orgone on.
I'm most interested in the subjective individual narrative and how that ties into larger, older stories.
I'm also interested in Rietvildt's designs and his thoughts about the furniture connecting people to the universe and to each other. So basically what I'm trying to do in this project and what I see myself doing in the future is to create what I'm calling mega utopias.
The project, with its goal of reprogramming society, seemed like a good fit, and Diana and I have had a dialogue this afternoon about the cross currents of our work.
The orgone is energy, basically, that Wilhelm Reich, a one-time disciple of Freud, discovered. He believed that this energy had the ability to cure humanity of things that varied from sexual dysfunction to cancer and even to fascism. It was through these kind of breaking up blockages in the body that were caused by repression of the libido that this orgone energy could work. In 2009, after the economic crash and the wars are going on and all this stuff, and I started to really look at my practice as an artist. I'd always been really serious about my work and thoughtful and it was meaningful to me, but I came to a realization that I was just done fucking around and that I'm going for it. And I started to think that what I needed to do is to put things out into the world that really could have a positive impact. So what I'm trying to do in this project, and which I have ideas for future projects as well, is to create a sort of mega utopia for a moment. And so there are these two spaces in this show. Mm-hmm. There's the orgone accumulator box, that's also the mushroom garden discotheque. And then the room we're sitting in now, and we're sitting on these two stainless steel Garrett Rietveld zigzag chairs. One of the things about his chairs in particular is that he saw them as points in space. When you sit in his chairs, there are always these different planes. That's how the pieces are put together. And so if you imagine yourself as sitting in these planes, but that these planes are extended infinitely, and that it connects you to the universe and to humanity. And he also was interested in design as something that was anti-fascist in the same way that Reich was. And so those were two things that came together for me. Mushrooms, I just think they're kind of amazing because they are the largest organisms growing on the planet. There are these mushrooms both in Europe and in North America where you can test them, the soil for them hundreds of miles apart, and the DNA will match. They are neither clearly animal or plant. Their DNA is sort of in between. And they're also sort of neither male or female. So here they are, kind of taking over the world, and have this status that I really feel connected to.
What is it about having this box here now that isn't, works for you? Or
I feel like we are on uncharted territory in so many places, environmentally, in the ongoing conflicts that are happening that the United States is involved in human rights issues, in what's happening, like right now with in Russia with LGBTQ people, and here in the United States. I mean, one of the things I always think about is that I don't really believe in time. Time is a dimension that we experience, but if I can also, part of the work is also to try to make work that although I can't escape time, but that transcends that notion. And so when you're inside the Orgone accumulator, that you really see your world opened up, and that all these things that are happening, either personally, politically, in the world, they're these moments, but they're not necessarily existing on a timeline.
Or defining.
Or defining.
The idea of the reprogramming means that you have a choice. You don't need to accept the status quo. There is a resurgence of feminism. The word is taking on new meanings. It's been being redefined by a multi-generational voice. Girls under 20, women in their 80s. It seems that the patriarchal institutions, the socialization structures, have oriented themselves, against the feminine, in practically categorically around the world, and there's a whole range of ills as a result of that. With respect to reprogramming, there are a couple of things that that are in the air. Speaking of sort of the timeliness of things, that the Pussy Riot protest in Russia, and then there's a group called Femin, which is also out of Eastern Europe. The reprogramming is I would say, is a goal. They go about it with disruptive acts related to physical acts, the body, and awareness of the body. Your box is non-invasive, or not. It's this place you can go to without, and it's sort of, you're enveloped inside of it, and then there's this kind of intellectual, emotional connection as a result of the box.
We're all constantly being programmed, living in our sort of hyper media culture, saturated with advertisement everywhere. We can't help but have these things sort of seep into our psyches. The only way you can do it is to risk making a fool of yourself, or
being ousted, or
being ousted, or in terms of Pussy Riot, worse.
Jail.
I teach at a university, and I think about that one of my main goals as a teacher, I teach sculpture, is just to get my students not to accept things that, without thinking about them. I'm sincere. I want to make an impact in the world. I want people, if one person sees this project or something I've done and it has a positive impact on them, and that can spread. I mean, in some ways you're like, really? But yeah, that's it. That's what it's about.